I'm Mike Cornette with WUSF 89.7's All Night Jazz, and joining me via Zoom right now, Chick Corea. Chick, how are you?
Nice talking to you, man. I'm doing fine.
Now, Chick's got a show coming up, an actual show. This is
My
amazing. So he's going to
my
be
first
performing
my
Friday
first
and Saturday, the 23rd and 24th of October. And this is going to be at Ruth Eckerd Hall in the Kate Tiedemann and Ellen Cotton Cabaret Theater. More information, rutheckerdhall.com. And this is a really different event. I'm going to ask you how many other kinds of events are you doing live these days, but this one, just so everybody knows, face masks required. It's going to be tables of 4. Chick has actually even curated the menu. Yes. That's right.
a bit of it. A bit of it.
A bit of it.
I don't think everyone's going to like my vegan offerings, but some might enjoy it. But you know, this is going to be my first live gig since the lockdown found me in Europe in the middle of March. And
Wow.
then
How was that when that first happened, when you were in Europe? How
well,
long were you?
it was pretty weird. We were seeing things like kind of close quickly around us. Things were closing down, and so before the whole tsunami of close down happened, me and my team, we booked our flights back home because uh, we were in Bucharest, I think. We were in somewhere in Eastern Europe, and our gig that was coming up in 2 days got canceled. And we go, oh, gee, what are we going to do? So we jumped on a plane, and we just made it back into the States. And so I haven't done a live gig since the middle of March.
So this is going to be kind of exciting in a way then, right?
Very exciting. I'm really looking forward to it.
Now, you've been nominated 65 times for a Grammy and just won one this year for your Antidote release. And then you've just put out a new recording, which is the first recording you've put out since your Grammy winner. And it's kind of what you're doing on this show, right? It's a double disc. Chick Corea plays on Concord Records. And part of that show is actually recorded right here in Clearwater. I was at that show, and that was a great show. So how different is this show going to be from that show?
Well, I mean, every show I do is really different from the show before because most of what I play is improvised. But as far as the material I'm using, I'm going to do a couple of pieces from the record. I've been starting my shows. I've been loving to start with this particular Mozart adagio, second movement of this piano sonata that Mozart wrote. It's a beautiful, calming piece, and it sets a mood for me and a nice, calm mood for the rest of the show. But then I'm going to be combining composers again. I've been loving to do that. Stevie Wonder and Jerome Kern and Bill Evans and Thelonious Monk and Duke Ellington, and then I'm going to play some of my own compositions as well.
Well, I saw that show. It was really exciting, and the recording is really nice as well. And part of it's you try to get the audience involved right in the beginning. Because it's got to be a little bit challenging, you know, when you're just up there by yourself to try to feel like the audience is there with you. What do you do to get everybody kind of in that mental state that you have to be in?
It's real simple. I mean, especially live is real simple. I just did a solo live stream show. That's a little bit trickier because I don't see the physical bodies in front of me. I did a show to a big audience from 6 continents. People tuned in from all around the world. And so I was just in front of a camera playing, and that was difficult. But when I have a live audience in front of me, it's quite easy because they're right there, and I talk to them, I tell them what I'm doing, and I get feedback right away. Plus the fact that similarly to the game that I played on the Plays record, I'm going to invite some people to come up to do portraits, musical portraits.
They'll be socially distanced, of course. So you won't be doing the duet thing, though, right?
No, I think duet at this point is a little bit too close.
Yeah.
For too close for comfort. But certainly I can invite a couple of people up to sit at me from in a short distance from the piano, and I can do some musical portraits, which I love to do. I just say hello, you know, find out the person's name, and it's not really an interview, and get to see this human being in front of me, and I love the challenge of looking at something, especially someone, a person, and improvising a piece of music that is like a portrait. It's a lot of fun to do. I used to do it when I was a kid with my cousins.
It's fun to watch too, because what you do is, I mean, you just literally sit somewhere down on the stage and then you just create, and sometimes the results are really intriguing. It was fun. Now, when you're on concert, you're in these solo shows, you're really kind of moving back and forth between the classics. You're doing Scarlatti, you're doing Mozart and Monk, and like you said, Stevie Wonder. I mean, how do you view the differences between all of those composers and try to keep that all congruous to the listener?
Well, the trick, which is no trick, the secret is that there's no secret also, which is the fact that, this is the way I conceive of music. When I play a composition by Stevie Wonder, and then I play a composition by Mozart, I'm playing them now. I'm not playing Mozart's music 200 years ago. I'm taking that score that Mozart wrote, directly the notes that he wrote, and I'm giving them my interpretation right now, just like Stevie. The tunes I'm choosing of Stevie's are ones that he made in the 70s and the 80s. But there's no time disappears when I'm playing music, and different composers and different influences and all are coming together in a moment now. So in my mind, it's all merging. But when I say, well, I'm going to play some Mozart and then I'm going to play some Stevie Wonder, it seems like, how can you do that? But it's my view of the music, and it's the way I see how these composers, and actually most of them, interestingly enough, are pianists. Mozart and Duke Ellington and Thelonious Monk and Stevie Wonder, they're keyboard players, they're pianists. So they follow along. My life has followed along in a tradition like that. I write music and I play the keyboards. So they're sort of like my friends, these guys, and I picture them as my friends. So when I put them together, I can see a lot of similarities in how it's all just music.
No, I can see that, and for our listeners, when you go and watch this show, it just flows. It's seamless. It's really interesting to watch, and it's interesting that you call the musicians your friends, but just sometimes I feel like the songs themselves are your friends as well. I feel that when I program too.
Yeah, in a sense, but the song always is the person who wrote it. Like those notes, there's that Mozart song, but that's Mozart. But then he wrote this song and this song and this song and this song and all, So it's an interesting point that when you're studying music and you play the music of a composer, and you get the notation that he wrote down. It's just like someone, you get Shakespeare's sonnet and you read his words. Well, he wrote those words, see? So you're not getting an interpretation of the words. If you're reading them off the page, it's Shakespeare to you. So when I read those Mozart notes off the page, I'm not thinking of someone's rendition of it. I'm thinking of, there's the notes, and I'm reading the notes myself, and here's my interpretation of them. So I get this very direct contact with the composer himself.
So will you be doing any of your children's songs? I noticed those were on the repertoire for the concert back in 2018 here in Clearwater, and also on the album. Will you be performing those as well?
Yes, I think I'm probably going to, for years I've been centering my children's songs performances on the earliest children's songs. There's 20 of them, and I've been doing more or less the first 10 or so because they're simpler. As the children's song numbers go up, they get a little bit more involved, and so this time I think I'm going to choose from the last 10. So I'm going to do some different children's songs, a little bit more mature children.
I was going to ask you what your process was for picking which ones you did. So you explained it really nicely. I was going to say, was it like picking real children? I don't know. What's your favorite child?
Yeah, well, there's a lot of variability in that. You really can't nail down skill with age, because I've seen some really, really young people who have incredible skill, and seen some older people who have less skill than the younger people. So age really doesn't have a whole lot to do with it. But it's kind of a state of mind. How simple is it, or how complex is it? Like, you see some young kids that are into. I was talking to, on my workshop yesterday. I had as my guest Herbie Hancock, my great friend, and Herbie was talking about how when he was I asked him what did he do to learn when he was when did he first get interested in music, and he relayed this thing of when he was a kid, like really 3, 4, 5 years old. He used to like to take things apart. So he would get a screwdriver and a wrench, and he would take clocks apart and other things to discover what was in them. And he majored in science in college. So different. At a young age, he was already like a little scientist, right? So it's beyond age. So my later children's songs tend to get a little bit more intricate.
I was going to ask you, you mentioned, you talked about virtual concerts and your workshop. I mean, you have just been all over social media. Mad skills you've got there, because you've been doing workshops and dropping music videos and all kinds of stuff. What's your philosophy about social media?
Well, the internet in general and social media is like an impersonal network. It's just impersonal. It's all out there, and everyone can be in there, and you don't know who they are. Hopefully, they're all part of the human race, and we're a family. So that's kind of the general idea. But I like to try to put positive messages out, and then collect. When you have, I guess it's like, I don't know. It's like marketing. You find people of like mind, and the music will, the music that I put out will collect people who like that kind of thing, and so a little group collects. The nice thing about it that I like is that that is coming to fruition after a lifetime of touring, is that I've been touring the world around, Europe, South America, Asia, all over the United States, Australia, since I went out on the road with Stan Getz in 1967. So since then, and with my own bands, I've collected a lot of friends and fans around the world. So with the internet, like I did the other night, it was amazing. It was possible to connect with people from everywhere at a present time moment, and that to me is very exciting. And I think the internet and social media can be a tool, and like any tool, it can be used for great things, or it can be used for not such great things. So it depends on who uses the tool.
So you've got all these great working active bands. You've got your acoustic trio with Dave Weckl and John Petitucci, your trilogy trio with Christian McBride and Brian Blade, your Spanish Heart band, your electric band. What's Chick working on now? You've always got something in the pipeline. What's happening?
Well, several exciting things, actually. Next year, of course, is going to be the opening up of the world again. We're all looking forward to that. So
Yes.
so I'm booking a lot of concerts for next year everywhere. I'm going to be very active with mainly with solo work, with some orchestral work, and some. My trio is going to be the Vigilette Trio with Carlitos Del Puerto on the bass and Marcus Gilmore on the drums. And then in the summer, I have a very nice tour of the United States with the electric band, because the electric band is now, the original members I'm putting together a beautiful 3 CD LP pack of these beautiful performances we did in 2017, and with some, and then with one brand new piece that we're going to do long distance, like everyone's going to put their part in. We're going to have one brand new piece that we're going to video our performance too, like we're trying to use that. So the electric band, and then Europe in the fall with the electric band again. And I'm going to have the premiere of my trombone concerto. I
was going to ask you about that.
Yeah, I wrote a trombone concerto for Joe Alessi, the great principal trombonist of the New York Philharmonic and the New York Philharmonic. Unfortunately, the New York Philharmonic is kind of taking a year off to renovate Geffen Hall. So, so the premiere now is going to, the world premiere is going to occur in Sao Paulo, I think, with the Sao Paulo Orchestra with Joe Alessi playing. And then I think in 2022, the New York premiere will happen. And now I'm beginning to work on a percussion concerto for the Philadelphia Orchestra, which is something I've had in mind to do for many, many years. I love drums and percussion, and I'm
You're
working.
so diverse, man. It's just amazing. You know,
Yeah,
I love it.
Yeah. So you know, I'm having fun, and but one of the more exciting things is coming from this solo piano streaming concert we did the other night. I want to do more of that. Invite my friends down to my studio and put out live shows from the studio to the world.
Nice. We're talking with Chick Corea, who's going to be performing at Ruth Eckerd Hall on Friday and Saturday, the 23rd and 24th of October. Tickets are available at rutheckerdhall.com. Showtimes are both nights, 8 p.m. And I wanted to talk to you, you know, two things before we run. The Grammy win, that was amazing. Fantastic record, Antidote, lovely record. And also the last time that we chatted was at the premiere of the video that you guys put together, the documentary about the making of that recording, which you can still stream online. How did you feel about winning the Grammy? I mean, that had to be like very empowering. I mean, of all the recordings and right when all this stuff is starting to happen and then you win the Grammy, that's great. Congrats.
Well, you know, one of the things about that was just kind of curious, which is months and months, actually a year before the virus came around, I was preparing the recording, and the main song of the recording was entitled Antidote, and that became the name of the recording, Antidote. The idea being that musicians and artists and what we do and helping people sing and dance and play brings the spirit of creation to the world. It's kind of an antidote to all of the negative stuff that goes on. So then the lockdown happens, and we got a real lockdown, and so the lyrics from that piece become very pertinent also. So that was an extra bonus kind of weird thing about that record getting it got a lot of attention. And the band, the Spanish Hot Band had a blast playing our European tour. We're going to do a U.S. tour at some point too, probably in 2022.
Well, I look forward to seeing that. The documentary was called In the Mind of a Master. Chick Corea, the master right here. Really appreciate you taking the time. Again, that show is going to be October 23rd and 24th, Ruth Eckerd Hall. More information, rutheckerdhall.com. Chick, I want to thank you so much for taking the time. Say hi to Gail for me, will you?
Yeah, I will, Mike. Yeah, thanks for taking the time yourself, man. And
my pleasure.
Hope to see you soon sometime.
Okay, man. Thanks. Bye.
Take care. Bye-bye.